to the next point. We should ensure whatever we see is clear.
That means work is being done. We can see that it is in opposite direction.
Hello, my learners. Welcome to e-learning program. My name is Mr. Yunana Ibrahim, a teacher to teach woodwork. I am here to teach a topic on woodwork titled Wood Workshop Safety. Wood Workshop Safety. Anywhere you are and you hear the word safety, what does it imply? It implies carefulness. It implies watchfulness. Your ability to take care of yourself to prevent accident. If you are on the road, flying the road, they will say, drive with carefulness to keep yourself safe from accident. Today, we want to see what happens in the workshop. How we keep ourselves safe from accidents in the workshop. And with me, I have the following outline to discuss under the topic wood workshop safety. First, we'll try to define safety precaution in the workshop and as well as accident. Then we will look at the causes of accidents in the workshop. The causes of accidents in the workshop. We would as well look at the classes of safety precaution in the wood workshop. Classes of safety precautions in the wood workshop. We will further, out of these classes, pick two. We'll discuss about what we call personal safety precautions in the workshop, and then hand tool safety precaution. After we have discussed that, then we will take summary, and then as an assignment that will keep us busy at home while we read our books. Let us go into the definition. What is safety? What is safety? Safety is the planned measures or precautions taken to prevent accident or to prevent injury to self, to others, and damage to the workshop, tools, and equipment. I repeat, safety is the planned measures or precautions taken to prevent injury to self, others, and to prevent damage to the workshop, tools, and the workshop equipment. The plan to prevent accident of any kind in the workshop is in other words called safety. The plan to prevent accident in the wood workshop is in other words called safety. What is an accident? An accident is the unforeseen occurrence that causes injury or damage to the persons and tools in the workshop. It is an unforeseen occurrence that causes injury to the persons, that is the people that are working in the workshop, and then to the tools in the workshop. Now, let us see what causes accident in the wood workshop. Accident in the wood workshop occur when, one, handling and using tools. You know, if you don't work in the workshop and if you don't use tools in the workshop, there will be no accident. We will consider there's no accident in the shop. But once you handle the tools and you use them, accident will occur. Accident also occur when handling and using machine and portable power tools. What do you mean by machines? In the workshop, there are machines that are fixed to base. And there are those machines that use electricity, but they are moved from one place to another to perform operations. So these are called, those that are fixed to base, we call them machine power tools. And those that are moved from one point to the other, we call them portable power tools. And so when you move them and you work with them, you can, accident may likely occur. Accident occur when stepping on or striking obstructions left on the floor or benches. When you step, that is why it is always advised that you wear shoes with hard what? Soles. Hard soles or hard caps, so that when you strike on any object, you will not incur accident, you will not be injured. Accident also occur when lifting, moving, and storing materials and jobs. When you work the tools you are working with, the materials you are working with, and then the job itself, there is tendency to to have an accident. So we are trained as much as possible to see that we prevent that. Accident also occur when using inflammable. Inflammable here means those things that can easily catch fire. When using inflammable or corrosive liquids and gases. Lastly, accident occur when inhaling vapors and fumes. You know, when you're inhaling vapors that are not healthy to mankind, they cause what? Accidents. Some get drowsy, some become dizzy, some become weak when they inhale vapors that are not healthy to them. Okay. Having gone through, we see the causes of accident. We want to try as much as possible to see that we minimize or we prevent these accidents. But we'll talk about them in so many classes. Classes of safety precautions in the workshop. Safety precautions are classified into many groups. But with me, I have this one to outline. First, we have what we call personal safety habits. This personal safety habit has to do with protecting yourself. What you do to keep yourself protected. Prevent yourself from accident, from injury. They include clothing and workshop safety habits. How you need to be very careful when you are in the shop so that you will not get an accident or cause an injury to yourself. What is expected of you to wear, to cover, to guide yourself into when you are working is what we call personal safety precautions. And then we have the second one, hand tool safety. That is carrying, storing, and using hand tools. And like I've mentioned in my introduction, in the process of carrying, using of these tools, you can have an accident. So one of the classes of safety precautions that we're going to discuss is hand tool safety. The next, the third one, we have machine and machine tool safety. We have machines, and then we have tools that we use in conjunction with the machine to carry out operations in the shop. And so by this, we talk about general machine shop safety, electric and electrical tool safety. Then we have mechanical faults, habits, and safe machine operations. By this, machines also, they need to be kept safe in the workshop. Electricity that we use can, if it's not properly used, it can cause accident in the shop. Okay, the mechanical fault, machines themselves can default can they develop faults on their own. So we need to be very careful that we do not allow these things happen. That even if they will happen, at least we'll be able to control them. Okay, so out of these three, I want to take two and discuss about them. First, we'll talk about personal safety precautions. That is safety to the worker, the one that operates in the workshop, the one that carries out construction in the workshop, the one that do everything in the workshop. The individual is what we mean by personal here. So the first, we have the A part of it, clothing. All the attires you need to appear with when you are in the workshop. It's not every cloth that you wear and you find yourself in the workshop where you work conveniently, you must wear attires that are fitted and are called workshop attires. First, we say, for individual workers to prevent himself from accident, he or she must first wear protective clothing. You must wear protective clothing. For example, close-fitting aprons tied to the back. You must wear protective clothing like aprons. You often see in the mechanic workshop, in the carpentry workshop, in whichever industry, you see people wearing workshop or aprons. The reason is to protect themselves from, first, not becoming too unnecessarily dirty, and then to also not wear clothes that cannot be cause an accident in the shop. The second one, remove loose fittings outer garments. If you wear clothing that flay and are long, you are to remove them. You're not supposed to use them for working in the shop. You're not supposed to use them for working in the shop, when working in the shop. The next one is roll up shirts sleeves above elbow. In case you have shirts that are a little bit below elbows, you are to roll them off so that they will not get hooked at the point of working performing operations in the workshop. So you roll them off. Remove wristwatch when using machine or tools. Tendency of your wristwatch to get hooked on a part of a machine or tools can be prevented when you remove them. So we don't allow wristwatch to be used during operations in the wood workshop. The next one is keep long hair out of the eyes and moving machine parts. Wear cap or barrels. The reason why, if you are wearing long hairs, it covers your visibility. Okay, you cannot see very well. So the tendency you get involved in an accident. And then, now, take your hairs away from moving parts of machine, like I have mentioned, so that you will not be moving and then your hair gets grabbed by a moving part of a machine and it strangles you, squeezes you, and then there you are. You're gone. Instead of being a successful worker, you are engaged in an accident. So try as much as possible to see that we prevent this. The next one is wear shoes with strong cap or sole. Oftentimes, those who work in industries, those who work in workshops, you often see them, they don't wear slippers, they don't wear open shoes, they wear shoes with hard sole, covered, so that when they step on any object, it will not injure them. When it will fall on their legs, it will not injure them. Okay, that is why we are advised to wear shoes with hard soles. Okay, these are some of the personal safety. Let's talk about workshop habit. In the workshop, when you are in the workshop, what do you do? How do you behave? That is what we want to see here. First, do not run in the workshop, but walk. Why is it that you shouldn't run? Tendency of running could cause an accident because you can mistakenly hit your leg or you fall on the ground and hit your head on either a tool or on the table. And so by that, you injure yourself. So don't run. If you walk, if an accident must come, I'm sure when you are walking, it will be minimized. Be sensible, no fooling around. If you are in the workshop, you have to gather yourself together. Don't just be misbehaving, moving like somebody who doesn't know what he's doing in the workshop. By that, you prevent yourself from injury. You save yourself from any injury in the workshop. Keep your bench tidy. Remove scraps and brush up chips. All these are gearing towards preventing an accident. If you have liquid spills because on the floor or the bench, there's tendency of the surface to become very slippery, and you could be engaged in an accident. So keep it tidy. Return tools and equipment to correct place of storage immediately you finish using them. Some in the workshop, they leave tools very carelessly. Some will be left on the floor. Some will be scattered on the table, and so they have no focus. And by that, you can easily get an accident. You can either get an accident by stepping on any of them, okay, or by them, you touch them, they fall on you, or they cut your hand, any part of your body. So the reason you need to keep the tools and equipment, they have a place of storage. So so take time and keep them in the place of storage while you are done by working with them. Okay? Close vice with handles pointed down when not in use. Vices are devices that are used in conjunction with a bench that you open. And then when you open, the jaws become open, and then you close. When you close, there is a device that will call it a handle. You use it for opening devices and then locking them. So if you lock them and you have the handle up, there's a tendency for somebody to get hooked on it. So when you close it, you push the handle down so that it will not cause any injury or accident in the shop. Next one, long pieces of timber should be carried by 2 persons, one at each end. Sometimes you see woodworkers struggling, carrying heavy, long pieces. It is advisable, if they are long, it will be better controlled when 2 people carry a long ones at the same time. Store inflammable liquids in sealed containers away from heat or flames. You know what it means. You need to keep them where they cannot easily catch fire or cause a breakout of fire. Make sure your working space is clear. You have visibility, full ventilation. You have clear, the place is not dark. You can always see what you are doing. Obtain permission to lift heavy objects. Keep your back straight. This one, if you want to lift heavy objects, there are rules that are followed. The first is that you need to keep your back straight. And the next one is bend your knees. Bend your knees. Keep your back straight and bend your knees. And then bend your knees when lifting the object so that you will not have a crack of your back, because these are heavy objects. Report any injury, no matter how minor it may seem. It may be. Report it. Don't work in an inconvenient situation. You're sick, you want to force yourself to work. You end up creating more harm, danger to yourself. Report any illness you may feel. If you are sick, report it. If you have an injury, please report it so that there is always a first aid box that will be used for treating you immediately before you get to the doctor. Note the position of your first aid box so that when you obtain an injury, you can always get there so that you'll be treated. Note the position of your fire extinguisher so that in case of fire outbreak, you can always extinguish it. Remove protruding nails from temporary work immediately when dismantling. For example, parking cases. If you don't remove obstruction, there is that tendency that when you match it, it causes an injury. When you move, you can hook on your clothes and whatever, it causes some injury to you. Be alert. Report any conditions or acts which may be dangerous or lead to an accident. That is why you need to stay clear. Don't get drunk before you go to the shop. The driver says if you must drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink. So don't get drunk, don't engage yourself in something that will take your attention away from having full concentration in the work. The second part we will talk about is the hand tool safety. Hand tools do not usually cause accident if in good working order. Used correctly, carried out and stored safely. If it is in good order, and if it is used correctly, and if it is carried and stored safely, you will not incur any accident. Carrying and storing carry and storage. Do not carry too many tools at once, because there is that tendency that one will fall and then might cause an injury. Is that injure you or it get broken? Do not carry sharp edges or pointed tools in apron or pockets. If you put them in your apron or your pocket, there's a tendency for them to tear the pocket and then they pierce you down and then get you injured. Store tools in tool kits or correct place immediately after use, not cluttering up the bench or projecting over the edge of the bench. I have said that in the first one. Store them in their place of storage so that they will not just be littered, they will not just be kept scattered on the floor or on the benches, thereby causing accident. When carrying sharp edged tools or pointed tools, such as chisels, bits, knives, and so, hold them close to their edges. Our parents will always tell us, if you want to carry a knife, don't carry it by the cutting edge. Okay? Hold them close to their edges, close to their bodies, and pointed down to the floor. And pointed down to the floor. So we need to be very careful. Check it so that it will not cause injury to you or any other person in the workshop. When passing pointed or edged to a fellow worker, pass them handle first. Our parents taught us that if you want to give a knife to a neighbor, how do you give it? You hold close to the edge and then give the person you are giving to grab the what? The handle. So pass them by the handle first. Using hand tools, keep the job under control by holding firmly with the vise, cramps, or jigs so that both hands are free to guide the cutting tools. Both hands are free to guide the cutting tools. Keep them under control. Keep all parts of your body behind cutting edges, especially when pairing with chisels and gouges, so that your body should always be behind the cutting edges of every tool. If you are cutting this direction, your body will be this direction. If you are cutting, always make sure that our bodies are behind the cutting edges to save ourselves from injury. Do not use tools with loose handles or heads. Example, hammer. In trying to strike a nail, if the head is loose, you find that the head, it will fling away, and you may not get what you are hitting, and then thereby causing injury to yourself. Start hand cutting with the back stroke. This is demonstrated when we want to saw. With the back stroke, guide. With the back stroke, guide the saw when starting with the raised thumb of your left hand. You guide, and then raise with the back stroke. And then when you are sure you have created a mark, then you can continue cutting. Do not use chisels and punches with mushroom furrows or ends, because if you do, it might cause a damage, destroy the job, and then cause an injury to the worker. Use hammer for driving, punches, and nails, and mallet for chisels. Yes, some always use chisel for driving nails, for hitting hammer, for hitting nails. While hammer is supposed to be used for hitting nails, we use mallet. It is not the best. Do not test cutting edges by drawing the thumb across the cutting edges. It can cut you. Do not check the set of plane with your fingers. You can be cut, you can be injured. That is just it about using of hand tools. My learners at home, these are some of the safety we need to observe under personal safety and then hand tools safety. Having gone through this, I have an assignment for you. The assignment goes, thus, define safety. I defined safety before I started this lesson. And then, 2, list 5 general causes of accident in the wood workshop. What are those things? I enumerated them, and I discussed them with you. List the 3 major classes of safety rules in the wood workshop. I think I have listed about 3, and I have taken 2 to discuss about them. So, my learners, this will keep you busy as you continue to read. In case you want to get to me by responding to the assignment I've given you, you can do it through an SMS, or you send it through my WhatsApp number, which I will give to you, and then I would mark it and then send it back to you immediately I get it. My name remains Mr. Ibrahim Yunana. My phone number is 080-2843-1113. I repeat it. My name remains Ibrahim Yunana. Phone number 080-2843-1113. Stay safe. Keep learning. You should know that coronavirus is still meandering, is still moving. So let's keep ourselves safe from any contact. Thank you. Remain blessed.